Have you ever felt stuck? Like you're running on a hamster wheel, day in and day out, and nothing ever changes? Well, what if I told you that in just 30 days, you could completely transform your life? It sounds like a clickbait headline, I know, but stick with me. This isn't about some magic pill or a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about the most powerful tool you already possess, your mindset. Today, we're diving into the story of Alex, an ordinary guy who felt completely lost, and how he turned everything around with a simple, yet profound, 30-day mindset challenge. His journey is proof that the way you think doesn't just shape your reality, it creates it. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step blueprint to do the same. Let's meet Alex. A year ago, Alex was the king of someday. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll be happy. His life was a collection of unfinished projects and broken promises to himself. He was overwhelmed by a constant feeling of negativity. His inner voice was his biggest critic, always reminding him of his failures and telling him he wasn't good enough. He'd wake up dreading the day, scroll through social media comparing his life to others, and go to bed feeling defeated. Sound familiar? For many of us, this internal narrative is so constant we don't even notice it's there. It's just background noise. But this noise was drowning Alex. He hit rock bottom when he missed out on a promotion he'd been working towards for years. He was convinced it was just another sign that he was destined for mediocrity. That night, spiraling in frustration, he stumbled upon a simple concept. You are what you think. It hit him like a lightning bolt. What if his problem wasn't his circumstances, but his mindset? He decided to run an experiment. For 30 days, he would consciously and intentionally change his way of thinking. No more negativity, no more excuses. Just 30 days of radical mental transformation. He had nothing to lose, and as it turned out, everything to gain. So, what did this challenge actually look like? Alex broke it down into a simple, daily practice. Week 1 was all about awareness. You can't fix a problem if you don't know it exists. So, for the first 7 days, Alex's only job was to become a detective of his own thoughts. He carried a small notebook everywhere he went. Every time a negative thought popped into his head like, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, or this will never work, he would simply write it down. He didn't judge it or try to fight it, he just observed it. The first day, he filled 3 pages. He was shocked. He had no idea the sheer volume of negativity he was producing. It was like discovering his mind had been running a constant, 24/7 broadcast of self-doubt. This simple act of observation was a game-changer. By seeing his negative thoughts on paper, they started to lose their power. They weren't undeniable truths. They were just sentences, patterns of thinking he had learned over the years. This first week is crucial. It's about moving from being a victim of your thoughts to being an observer of them. That's the first step toward taking back control. With a newfound awareness, Alex moved into week 2, the reframe. This is where the real work began. Awareness is great, but now it was time for action. For every negative thought he caught, he had to challenge it and reframe it into something neutral or positive. For example, when the thought I'm going to fail this presentation came up, he wouldn't just let it sit there. He would stop, take a breath, and reframe it. I'm nervous about this presentation, but I've prepared well, and I'm capable of doing a good job. See the difference? He wasn't lying to himself and saying, this will be the best presentation ever. That would feel fake. Instead, he was shifting from a catastrophic prediction to a more balanced, realistic perspective. If he thought, I'm so lazy for not going to the gym, he'd reframe it to, my body needed rest today, and I'll have more energy for a great workout tomorrow. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's about cognitive restructuring. It's about training your brain to look for solutions instead of problems, to see opportunities instead of obstacles. It was difficult at first. His mind kept wanting to slip back into its old, comfortable, negative grooves, but he persisted. Every reframe was like a single rep at the gym for his brain. Slowly but surely, he was building a new mental muscle. Week 3 was all about gratitude and action. Alex realized that to truly change his mindset, he couldn't just focus on eliminating the negative. He had to actively cultivate the positive. So, he added 2 new habits to his daily routine. Every morning, before even checking his phone, he would write down 3 specific things he was grateful for. Not just big things like my family or my health, but small, specific things. The taste of my morning coffee, the sun shining through my window, a funny text from a friend. This simple exercise forced his brain to scan his world for positives first thing in the day, setting a completely different tone. The second habit was taking one small, concrete action toward a goal. Remember all those someday goals? Alex picked one, starting a side business. Instead of being overwhelmed by the whole project, he committed to one tiny step each day. Day 1, research domain names for 15 minutes. Day 2, brainstorm a business name. Day 3, outline a basic business plan. These weren't huge, intimidating tasks. They were small, manageable wins. This combination was powerful. Gratitude anchored him in the present and filled him with positivity, while the small actions proved to his brain that he was capable of making progress. He was no longer just thinking differently, he was acting differently. The someday was becoming today. The final week, week 4, was about solidifying and sharing. Alex had spent 3 weeks building a new mental foundation. Now, it was time to make it permanent. He focused on a technique called visualization. Every evening before bed, he would spend 5 minutes vividly imagining his ideal future. He didn't just think about success, he felt it. He imagined the feeling of confidence after nailing a presentation, the sense of accomplishment after launching his business, the joy of feeling healthy and energetic. He engaged all his senses in this mental rehearsal. This primes the brain for success and makes it more likely to spot opportunities that align with that vision. The other part of this week was sharing. He opened up to a close friend about his 30-day challenge. He didn't share to brag, but to create accountability and connection. Speaking his goals and his progress out loud made them more real. It also turned his internal journey into something he could share with others, reinforcing his own commitment. By the end of day 30, Alex was a different person. Not because his external world had magically changed overnight, but because his internal world had been completely rewired. He hadn't won the lottery or become a CEO, but he was no longer a prisoner of his own negative thoughts. So, what happened after the 30 days were over? Did he just go back to his old ways? Absolutely not. The habits he built became his new normal. The negative inner critic was still there sometimes, but it was a faint whisper, not a deafening roar. And now, he had the tools to shut it down. That promotion he missed. He realized it wasn't a sign of his failure, but an opportunity. He used his newfound clarity and confidence to reevaluate his career path. He ended up finding a new job at a different company that was a much better fit, with more responsibility and a higher salary. And that side business, it launched. It started small, but it was real. It was his. He was also in the best physical shape of his life. Not because he forced himself through grueling workouts, but because his mindset shifted from "I have to work out" to "I get to move my body." The biggest change, though, was his overall sense of well-being. He woke up feeling energized, not anxious. He saw challenges as opportunities, not threats. He was no longer living in someday. He was living fully in right now. His relationships improved because he was more positive and present. His life hadn't just changed, it had expanded. All because he decided to take control of his thoughts for 30 days. Now, it's your turn. Alex's story is inspiring, but it's not unique. This is possible for you too. I want to challenge you to try your own 30-day mindset makeover. Challenge every negative thought and reframe it into something more balanced and empowering. Week 3, Gratitude and Action. Start each day with gratitude and take one small, actionable step towards a goal. You don't need any special equipment or a ton of time. All you need is the decision to try. The next 30 days are going to pass anyway. Why not use them to build a mind that works for you, not against you? Imagine what your life could look like 30 days from now if you started today. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future content. Let's support each other on this journey. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.